So, a short video here. I've been looking for graphics cards recently, well, recently for the past year or so, 2 years maybe, but the prices of cards are stupid to say the least. So I've been looking at Nvidia, looking at AMD, but obviously Nvidia been pricing premiumly due to mining, and AMD have just been price high. I guess they profit off the Nvidia's price, so they just stay below them. So I pretty much have had enough, so I have decided to go in a different direction. And, see what I've actually got. Well, I have an M2 SSD because I need to, well, I'm currently using a SATA SSD, which, long story, didn't know that M2 came in multiple types. Bought a motherboard, which is an Asus one, a couple of years back when I built a new PC, and well, yeah, and didn't realise they were doing that, and essentially, actually no, it's more years back, but basically the issue with it was that I didn't know the SATA ones, I didn't know the M2 ones, I didn't know there's multiple types, and turns out it was a SATA one, which was not compatible with the previous Intel motherboard I had. So I ended up using a converter to do SATA. But anyway, I've decided to go down a different route, and what we have here is a nice Intel Arc A770, 16 gigabytes. So I decided to go for 16 gigabytes because it wasn't too much cost, and this is actually very well packed, I have to say. The fact that we've got foam inlay, so it's not just a cardboard box and another cardboard box, but in fact we've actually got a lot of very well packaging. So let's have a look. So one Intel Arc CPU, so let's just take off the packaging. I never thought I would end up buying an Intel GPU after all this time. Didn't think I would end up doing that, but let's have a look. So it's work out how to get into the box. Oh, there's a bit of tape. So we have oh, that's very funky looking. That's nice and sort of matte. So a quick start guide. Looks a bit. Oops. Oh, something. Not much of one, but let's see. So I'm currently running a GTX 970, which I've had for a long time. It's in my previous PC, so it's what, must be 8 years old. But generally speaking, it actually serves its purpose, but for games I play, which is on the PC, generally EVE Online, which is starting to get a bit long in the tooth for, and I've had to turn down a lot of the graphics effects recently just because of the issue with getting it to keep up. So let's just have a quick look at this. It's very pretty, I have to say. So we have power connectors. I have to look at my MPC, which seems to, well, I have to check what's available, but probably should be quite similar. Quite funky. So limited edition, woohoo! But to be honest, it works. It's going to work. So do that. So I have to remove all the other drivers. That's quite neat. Put a little cover over the edge connectors, or what I've got here, so that's quite funky. At least it keeps it protected in transit. And oh, you have some covers over the ports as well, so which I guess little rubber stops. So I've ordered some DisplayPort cables because currently I've got DVIs. My monitor will support DisplayPort, so I shall do that. But yeah, so first view is that looks quite a funky card. So go through and do some basic benchmarking. I haven't got any benchmarking software, so I'll just do some basic stuff. So yes, have our introduction to a Intel Arc. But yeah, that looks really quite funky as a card. I think it feels like premium product, doesn't feel plasticky or anything. And I managed to get this for the princely sum of £369.99, which I thought was quite good compared to the other cards. Oh, there's another little box in here, didn't notice that. Let's have a look, see what I've got in here. I think this may be some RGB headers or something. Yep, looks like a little RGB cable. So it looks like it's got RGB stuff support as well. Oh, funky. I've got PC with RGB, so I shall have a look to see how that actually looks. Let's just stick it all back in the box for a moment so don't lose it. Oh, funky. So yep. Oops. Stick it the right way back in. And yeah, fun. So finally got a new graphics card. Cool.